y'all, it's me Alex. Today I have my top 20 products of 2020 video. Now I was going to do a whole ass just like everything I've loved for 2020, and then I realized my internet would not be able to take that, because honestly any video that is above like 20 minutes takes like 3 days to upload. While I think, you know, Jesus rising from the grave in 3 days is like a good time frame, I don't really like that in terms of, you know, a video. So I decided to narrow it down to 20 products, which I know that's already a lot, but I figured 20 for 2020, you know, they'll be really good. Hopefully, I'm filming this literally New Year's Eve, so I don't anticipate actually being able to get this up by 2021. But hopefully, like, by maybe Saturday, I can get it up. Also, I just, like, chopped off my hair again. I, like, re-dyed it, and I think I did a decent job. But also, if my hands, like, have a little bit of a tint, you'll know that that is why. Also, I'm not actually wearing a lot of my favorite products on my face today, because I have, like, another like thing on Instagram going on today. I did not plan this well at all. I am going to get into the products starting with number 20, and that is the Fenty matchsticks in Mocha. I finally decided to bite the bullet and try some products from Fenty this year. 2 out of 4 of them have actually made this list. Firstly is the matchsticks in Mocha. This is their little like contour stick, and I know not everyone is into contour, but I love just like putting this on a little brush and underpainting underneath my tinted moisturizer. I think that it adds a little bit of like depth and dimension to my face and my cheekbones, and I find that like if you draw it directly on your face, it's gonna look really, really harsh, but if you use like a very dense brush and pick it up on there first, then it becomes a lot easier to blend and it looks really, really nice. And so even though I am like the only person who enjoys contouring, I think that this was quite good. Next up is the Midas Cosmetics Coffee Quad in Green Tea Macchiato. Now, while I still can't spell the word macchiato, I've used this so much. It's kind of like how I made it through 3 years of seminary, but I still can't entirely spell the word Ecclesiastes on the first try. I love this product very much, I just don't know how to spell it. Midas Cosmetics was one of the brands that I really wanted to try in 2020, and so they were actually the first brand that I decided, well, let me take the plunge. This quad is super great. I got 3 of the quads in the coffee collection. This one is my favorite, which you can tell because this is a very Alex color scheme. I feel like even though it's only 4 shadows, you can get a lot of really great looks out of it. And it has a really nice formula that you really don't have to put a lot of work into, even in, you know, the shades like Long. Like, even though this is kind of like a deep tealy green, you really don't have to put a whole lot of effort into blending it, and I think that that is really nice. And you can just get a whole lot of different looks. You can even just do like a lot of one shadow looks with this sort of palette. And I want to try more from Midas Cosmetics in 2021. Next up in number 18 is a perfume brand that I actually tried this year called Musks. I bought 4 fragrances from them. 2 of them are actually dupes for fragrances from Lush, and 2 of them were just ones that I found interesting. So my least favorite is their Dork of Misrule, which is supposed to be a dupe for Lush's Lord of Misrule. It's not that it's bad by any means, it's just not quite as strong as I would like it to be, but it does do a very good job of duping the Lush scent. So I think that if you are someone who likes some of the Lush scents, but you don't want to support them as a brand, or if you think that they are a bit too strong, I would highly recommend checking out Musks. In third place, Curbside Violets, which is also a dupe for whatever their violet perfume is. Also very nice. I'm not the most florally scented like lover. That's not a grammatically correct sentence, but I do quite like this one. And then second place is Caramel Musk, which smells exactly like it sounds. This is what I'm wearing right now. It's just like very sweet, but not in an overly sweet kind of way. Like it smells like you've been baking, but you also kind of naturally smell really nice. And then my favorite is Dominant Women. It's kind of like a florally, fruity, musky sort of scent. I'm not the best at describing scents, but I like this one because it reminds me of my Nana's perfume, which was Nina Ricci's L'air du Temps. That one fit her very well, but this one is more like a slightly fruitier version, something that kind of mixes with my skin's chemistry a bit better. So I kind of get that nostalgic kind ofness to it, while also it it fits like my sort of perfume style very, very well. Really good company. I know that shop is on a break right now on Etsy just because they did get a bit backed up with orders, but I really, really enjoy the brand. I think that they are great, and once they open back up, I'm going to be trying a few more from them. Okay, for number 17, I picked two products because they are both alike in quality and they're from the same collection, and I really couldn't just pick one to put in here, so I decided to include both, so I'm cheating. And that is both of the palettes from the Melt and Beetlejuice collection. I would have put these higher up, but I didn't quite have as much time with these as I had with like some of the other palettes. But I like both of these palettes quite equally. So let's talk about the recently deceased palette. Hello, gorgeous. This is really, really easy to work with. I wish the purples were like a little bit different, but I don't think that's necessarily bad. I think it is still very, very good quality. I love the greens in this. This is just such a great palette. I really love this entire collection, but especially when I started playing with the palettes from it, I really was just kind of reminded of why it is that I loved makeup in the first place. Yeah, it just kind of like takes me back to the old like Hot Topic days where I would like try out all of the bright colors and make it all grungy and gothy, and yeah. And then here is the Waiting Room palette, and I didn't expect to love this one as much as I did. Like, obviously y'all know I love me some red and burgundy eyeshadows, which you'll see in some of the other choices that I have for my 2020 favorites. This one is just so very lovely. I love kind of mixing the burgundies and the burgundies and like the gray tones together. I think you can get a lot of very mid-2000s Hot Topic looks out of it, but like make it with your 2020 skills. This whole collection was really great, but I love the palettes especially. I think like ever since I've gotten these, I've always been like, okay, I need to go use other palettes, but I always find myself going back to these as much as I like try and go through my collection as much as I can. Okay, next up at number 16 is another eyeshadow palette, and that is the Nabla Dreamy 2 Mystic palette. This is what I bought myself for my birthday, but this is what it looks like. I've been wanting to try Nabla shadows for a while because I've heard everyone talking about how great they are, and this one definitely fucking does it for me. I love this, even though it's more on the neutral side than kind of what I would normally go for. This causes me to really get out of my own comfort zone in terms of the eye looks that I do. It has really made me more creative, and so I'm not just doing my standard half cut crease with a shimmer and like blown out sides and lower lash line. You know like what I'm doing today. This causes me to not do that all the time. And these shadows just blend so nicely. Things rarely live up to the hype that YouTube gives them, but like Nabla shadows definitely do. And this color story is lovely, and this is absolutely worth all of the money that I paid for it. I love these two right here, Hidden Place and Offline, because Offline looks like it's just gonna be a matte black, and then it ends up in this gorgeous like creamy eggplant shade, and Hidden Place has just like this brownie purple duochrome effect. It's just beautiful on the eyes, and I really love it, and I'm gonna collect all of the Nabla palettes now. Okay, number 15 is a skincare product that is actually in my bathroom right now that I forgot to get, and guess what? I am not getting up. And that is the Brujita Skincare Cherry AHA Mask. I forget where I read about Brujita Skincare, but I had just been waiting to try something from them, and while I'm pretty content with my skincare routine, I basically just like have my makeup remover, charcoal cleanser, which by the way, I found my old favorite Derma E charcoal cleanser that I thought had been discontinued at Wegmans yesterday. Anyway, my skincare routine is pretty standard, like double cleanse, use a little bit of hyaluronic acid, moisturizer, and then like sunscreen in the morning, and I really don't deviate from it. I don't have a lot of skin issues. I don't feel like I need to do anything huge to that, but I do like having a couple fun masks in my skincare routine that I can do like once a week and just kind of rotate it out. The Cherry AHA mask for Brujita Skincare has been super, super, super nice. I love kind of scrubbing my face before it and then putting that on, and my skin just looks so nice and glowy and smooth. I just love it so much. I'm not the biggest fan of the scent because I like cherries, but I don't like cherry scented things, but I also know that their AHA mask comes in a couple of other scents, so when I run out of this, I am going to get those. I will say with the brand, if you want to try it, be sure to pay attention to their Instagram because a lot of their stuff sells out really quickly. So if you pay attention to their Instagram stories, you'll know when things will come back in stock and when they have new collections. Around Halloween, they did a red rum collection, which I almost bought, but it was a little out of my budget and there were some other Halloween-y things that I wanted at the time. But they're really cool. I like their products and I'm really excited to try more from them in 2021. Okay, so y'all are gonna guess this by like everything that you've seen on my channel this year, but this year is the year that I really tried a lot of products from Melt and I was very, very happy with them. So that means that number 14 is the Melt and Cheese and Parties palette. I love this because y'all know that I am a slut for purple eyeshadow. Hi, yes. This is beautiful. I love it. Now you do kind of really get very monochromatic looks out of this. So if you are not a burgundy purple eyeshadow lover, you're not gonna like this, but you can tell that by looking at it. Everything else in this, fantastic. Even the shades that I thought I wouldn't like, I really, really like. I actually really love the shade Total Immortal, which is not normally the sort of shade that I would put on my eyes, but I think it just makes a very, very lovely transition shade and I like it a lot. And I think that all of these just like blend so well together. Melt shadows are very difficult to work with if you are not experienced in eyeshadow. However, one of the things that I appreciate about Melt's palettes is that I think that they recognize that their mattes and their shadows are just very, very pigmented and a little bit difficult to work with. So they do a very good job of like doing gradients that'll make their palettes a lot easier to blend. So they make their shadows so cohesive that like, yeah, you might have to spend a little bit of extra time blending, but if you layer the shadows correctly, you're not gonna have that much of a problem. And I really like that. I also love the two lightest shimmers in this palette, Strange Love and Skeleton Kiss. Skeleton Kiss I also love wearing as a highlighter because it is one of those like pearly pinky shades, which is absolutely what I look for in a highlighter. I think it's super nice. So Melt Cheese and Parties was absolutely fantastic. Also from the Melt and Beetlejuice collection is the mascara in the shade Ultra Black. It is their Supernatural Lash Mascara. That's what I'm wearing on my lashes right now. And I've been kind of like trying a lot of different, well, not a lot of different, like 2 different mascaras this year because like I've been trying to find just something that I really, really like. And this really does it for me. I know it's definitely on the clumpy side. And I know that I have naturally pretty long and thick lashes, so like here I could kind of get away with most mascaras. This has like just the right amount of volumizing and thickening, and it kind of gives me like just enough of a false lash effect. I just really enjoy it, and I love that it has a gigantic wand. I love anything with a big wand. I feel like those are just... I know that other people like smaller wands for precision. I don't give a fuck about being precise in anything in my life. So being able to just like get those big ol' thick chunky lashes, exactly what I want out of a mascara. And it doesn't smudge, it's pretty easy to remove, it doesn't really flake off. It kind of reminds me of the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, but a bit of a wetter formula. Too Faced Better Than Sex meets Urban Decay Perversion. So like still very like big and fluffy, but without the flakiness that I think comes with Too Faced Better Than Sex, because I kind of hated that mascara. I loved how it looked, I hated how it flaked. So another brand that I tried this year was Bitter Lace Beauty. I ordered a couple of their highlighters when they were having a big old sale around Halloween, and this one is my favorite. This is in their shade Slay, which is their limited edition Killuminator. And I hadn't tried Bitter Lace Beauty for a while because I'm like, okay, I don't need like that big of a pan of something. And I also didn't want to pay their prices. Now I understand why they are definitely on the more expensive side. I think it is absolutely worth it. And I love this because y'all know that I really only like natural highlighters on myself, like maybe a little bit of the pink, but that's kind of it. The way this looks. Let me just swatchy. No, Alex, don't say that. But this is just like a nice kind of standard pinky gold highlighter. And it's very glittery, very glowy, but it looks really, really cool in the pan. So it gives me that effect of like being one of those funky, unique, interesting highlighters, but also just kind of like being something that I feel like I can actually pull off. And I really, really like it. I think it is so pretty. I'm just trying to show it off because like it looks a lot better on the face. It's definitely more on the glittery side, but you spray with a setting spray, you're gonna be fine. It's so good. The number 11 is the Fenty Stalk'r bronzer in Shady Biz. I have one other bronzer. I'm not particularly picky about bronzers, so I'm kind of content to really not have that many. I have a glowy one from Milani, and I just been looking to find like a good matte bronzer because my old Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer had like gotten little bumps in it, and I kind of felt like maybe that's not something I should be using. So I got this. I had a little bit of trouble on the website just because this one fits my skin tone really well. Like, this is what I wear as a bronzer pretty much every day. On the website, when you're putting in your undertones and stuff, I don't feel like it's swatched well on the website. But when I got it in person, it's really nice. It blends super great. It doesn't do so much to my face that it looks like super tan or anything weird. I wish they would expand their shade range like a little bit more to have a few more undertones, but I do think that this is really, really nice. And I've just basically been using this every single day since I got it. And I also will do a little bit of it like in a crease with the highlighter on my inner corner if I want to do something a little bit more natural, which is a rarity, but you know, occasionally I want to do something like that. So this is really, really nice. Back to some single shadows. I got 2 multichromes from the brand MBA Cosmetics, and I'm trying to just very casually get them out of there. So in Nefarious, which is this one, and Haunted. Because I tried some JD Glow Multichromes, which is like my next up favorite. And I think these are definitely more subtle, a little bit more duochrome-y. MBA has some very, very interesting shifts to their shadows. Because I think that there are certain shades that you can see in multichromes that are kind of like your standard sort of shifts, like, you know, your blue to green to purple, you know, the pink to green one, you know, like, you know what I'm talking about. But MBA has some very interesting shifts. I'm just putting these back in the palettes because I'm a menace and I will damage them. But this is what these two look like. They do definitely require a little bit more of a glitter glue and to build them up a little bit more, but they look really, really cool on the eye. I really just want to get all of their multichromes in 2021 because I think that they just have such a unique range of multichromes that it's gonna be great. And like, no one talks about them, and they should. And then speaking of other multichromes, I got 2 JD Glow Multichromes, which are these two right here. I'm just going to swatch them in and No Way. And these are a lot easier to work with. They're a lot more metallic. You could see the shift a lot more. They're more of a multichrome rather than a duochrome, but they're really nice, really easy to work with. I feel like these are good beginner multichromes because I've never had any issue with like blending. You can use it with a glitter base in order to just like really make it pop. So those are really good. And if you are new to multichromes, I really recommend the JD Glow ones because they're so easy to work with. I really wish JD Glow would come out with more shades because I love that formula a lot. Next up is the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in Nude Flush. I have really started using a lot of cream and liquid blush products this year, but this is the one that I have used definitely the most consistently. If you are looking for a drugstore dupe for the Glossier Cloud Paints, I 10 out of 10 recommend this. I actually just really love Milani's cheek and lip products. I think that they're probably my favorite drugstore brand in general. I think they're really great. And yeah, this blends really nicely. I'm literally almost out of it because I've been using it so much. It's so good. I love a good nudie blush. I don't like anything too particularly wild on my cheeks. And this blends really nicely. It almost just kind of makes you look like you know, you've been out in the sun, which none of us actually have this year. So it's very good, very nice. Okay, I have 3 palettes left. So the third palette in 7th place is the Colored Raine Vivid Pigments palette. This is so good. I know it's like $50, but the shades in this are absolutely worth it. This is one of the best matte yellows I've ever tried. All of these purples, fucking gorgeous. I feel like any look that you want to do, you can get out of this palette. And I think that this is just, it is so beautiful, so nice. I think it has such a nice variety of shades. If you're looking for a rainbow palette, this is it. This is your sign. Like, yes, it's all matte, but as someone who does a lot of colorful looks, and I think that there's always more colorful shimmers than there are colorful mattes, this is a great addition into my collection because if I find a palette that I'm like, okay, all of the shimmers in this are colorful, I like the colorful shimmers, but what do I put in my crease? Because y'all know I'm not putting brown in my crease when it comes to a colorful look. I can just dip into this and I can usually find something that I really like. And the shades are very, very pigmented, very, very blendable. Obviously they're pigmented, it's a Vivid Pigments palette. But y'all know what I mean. This is great. Colored Raine shadows. Fantastic. This one is my favorite out of all of them. Honorable mention to Safari Raine. Okay, so this is a product that I've been using since last year, but I use it so much that I couldn't not mention it. So in 6th place is the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. I love a good tinted moisturizer. I don't really like anything full coverage on myself. This replaced their BB cream with a much better shade range. It's still not perfect, but it's definitely an improvement over what used to be. Let's see, I use the shade 04 True Beige Buff. If you like something that is pretty light coverage, you want to like kind of help disguise some redness, some like imperfections on your skin, but kind of still let your skin's natural texture and look to go through, I really like this because my favorite, well, kind of, I've just been doing this look in general for like a while, but I just love a bold eye or bold lip with like very natural skin. And this really helps me achieve that look. It's also nice because I'll use it even if I don't feel like I need a lot of coverage, because I also think it provides a very nice base for the other products that go on my face. Super great. I love it a lot. And if you haven't tried it and you are looking for a tinted moisturizer, use it. It's really good. So we're now up to the top 5. And while I think like the last 15 products could kind of like be in a little bit of a different order, the top 5 are truly meant to be in the top 5. I have curated this and I've stressed about it, and I feel like I finally got it down. Number 5, Kaleidos Lunar Lavender. Kaleidos was a brand I wanted to try in 2020, and I did. And it took me a while. I got this probably around Thanksgiving-ish. And I know that this isn't everyone's favorite Kaleidos palette, but it's kind of perfect for me. Firstly, this packaging, gorgeous, beautiful, iconic, lovely, and it's also at a very good price point, and I just love the little curation of this color story. I love the shimmers in this. They definitely require a little bit of a glitter glue, but I don't think that's an issue. Even the browns in this have really kind of encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone and do different things with my eye looks, kind of in the same way that the Nabla Dreamy 2 palette does. I just think that this color scheme is so very nice. It's very well curated. I was kind of stressing this year over what Kaleidos palette I really wanted, just because none of the color schemes quite felt right. It either like duped what I already had, or there was like definitely a shade that I wouldn't use in it. And when it's a 6-pan palette, you really want to use all of the shades in it. I use every shade in this palette, not quite in every look, but I feel very inspired by every shade. And so that's what makes this number 5. And I just think the packaging is so cute. I love it. At number 4 is the Clarisonic Real Fantasy palette. I've been wanting to try this brand for a while, and just this color scheme is so pretty. I think you can get a big variety of looks out of this palette, even the shades that I wouldn't normally enjoy. So like, well, actually it's just the shade Ice. I wouldn't normally go for a very pastel blue, but I think that when you use it right as like a little transition shade, or doing, you know, something very like a big monochromatic wing, you can get something really cool out of this. This color scheme really inspires me to be creative. Well, there's a lot of colorful mattes in this, so I love all 3 of these right here, as well as Alien. And I love pairing it with just kind of like opposite shimmers, because I feel like it's very easy to do a monochromatic look. Hi, hello, obviously. But this also inspires me to step out of my comfort zone and do some very interesting color combinations that you wouldn't normally find. And the shadows blend really nicely, they apply really well. And I'm just overall very impressed by this palette, just because I really haven't heard much about the brand on YouTube or on the internet. And I'm going to be looking out for a lot of releases from them after trying this. It's very fun. 3rd place is the JKissa brush set. Now, I bought the entire collection when it came out, and overall I much prefer the first JKissa collaboration. The palette for this one, not super great. Like, I like some of the shades a lot, but overall not a fave. I think the liquid shadows were pretty good. I just don't use a lot of liquid shadows. However, these brushes I have been using every single day since I got them. I love e.l.f. brushes in general, and even just like the rainbowiness of these brushes has just really encouraged me to use it even more. Well, JKissa is one of those people who really inspires me when it comes to makeup, especially since, you know, she's very much also like natural skin dramatic eyeshadow type of person. I really trust her when it comes to like eye brushes that she picks out, and I think she did a very good job of curating this. So the J5 has become my like holy grail brow brush because it is very nice and angled, but it's also so thin that I think you can get like a very nice line when it comes to your brows. I know my brows are a little bit more like evil villainy today than they normally are, but you know, I still think they do a very good job. I love like these three brushes right here, the J1, J3, and J4. I also don't know what I did with the J2. It's somewhere. It's also a brush that I use a lot. I think that she just did a very good job with this collection. Even as I wash the brushes, they hold up really well. They don't get scratchy. The fibers don't like go everywhere. And that's especially saying something since I'm very aggressive when it comes to my eyeshadow brushes. So she did a great job with this collection. I almost bought a second set, but by the time I got around to doing that, they weren't around anymore. So kind of sad about that. They should bring this brush set back because it's really nice. Okay, in second place, we have a lipstick. The only lip product that I actually have in my top 20, because we're all wearing masks. Who's wearing lipstick in 2020? Me. Because I feel like my look is incomplete if I don't. But this is the Glam Goth Beauty liquid lipstick in Perish. This recently got restocked on the Glam Goth Beauty website. Glam Goth Beauty is such a cool brand. They make biodegradable glitters. It is queer owned, black owned, and they just have a very fun aesthetic, and I really love their products, especially the shade of lipstick. I love pairing this. Like, I think brown tones have really kind of become my nude this year, like my neutral pair it with anything sort of shade, because I love, like, obviously this will work well with like a grungy sort of look, but I also love pairing this with like very bright colors because I think it kind of automatically makes it a little bit more edgy, a little bit more punky. Like, the formula is very much like a standard liquid lipstick formula, but this color just makes me feel feelings, and I love it so much. I love this packaging, like that it's like a square and not like a round tube, that it just kind of like ombres from the black into the color of the lipstick, and then it also just has a very nice and easy applicator. It actually allows me to create a bow of my lips because I can't do that with a lot of applicators for liquid lipsticks, because the bow of my lips is kind of non-existent. But this is such a great product, and I think she recently just did a restock of like all of the liquid lipsticks on our website, and after trying this I want to try more shades. I think this is just so good. Now y'all should be able to guess my #1 product if you watched my friend Emily Hanhan's other creators' favorite products of 2020, which I will link down below, by the way, because I love that video, because I was also a part of last year's, so it was a good time. But if you've seen that, you'll be able to guess what my favorite thing of 2020 was. But in case you haven't, the Melt Gel Liners. So I actually have 6. I like 5 out of 6 of them. The one that was supposed to be sheer, don't really care for that. Like, I think it has a purpose, but it's not the way I would normally use it. So I have 5 shades that I really love. Firstly, I'm going to talk about why I love it. And it's because I have very shaky hands, so I struggle with doing liner a lot. I do enjoy like the NYX Epic ink liner, like that's been pretty good. Like the QVD Vegan Beauty ink liner has been pretty good to me, but I vastly prefer gel liners because I feel like that's a little bit more malleable, a little bit more easy to work with, and a little bit easier to fix up when I inevitably fuck up my eyes. And this formula is really good for that. It's very creamy. Aside from the like not opaque one from the Beetlejuice collection, this is very opaque, so you don't have to layer it a whole lot. It also doesn't transfer, because what I've struggled with gel liners in the past is, despite the fact that my skin is pretty dry, my lids are very oily, and if I did anything really graphic, it would just transfer into my crease. That's not a good look for anyone. I'll just talk about the shades really quickly. So we have the black one in Onyx, which, oh my god, it's a black liner. It looks exactly how you'd expect it to look. I almost did that with this look, but I put it on and then I realized, you know, it's a little too intense for the look that I'm trying to go for today. So I redid my eyes. I wish that they would come out with more colors than this, because I love the colors that I do have. But I really just want like an entire rainbow of these. And because wouldn't it be cute if they did like a shimmery mint, you know, or like a shimmery light green? I think that'll be super cute with this look. Then we have Wallflower, which this one is my favorite non-neutral out of the collection, because it's just like this beautiful chartreusey green. So nice. You can tell the amount of use that I have gotten out of that. Then we have Cultura, which is this like light brownie shade, and this once again, it's so good. And one of the things that I do appreciate about like the lighter shades is that they're still so opaque that if I were to layer it over top of like a very dark eye look, I wouldn't have to do a whole bunch of layers. Then from the Beetlejuice collection, the two that I like out of the Beetlejuice collection is 125 Years. And I'm not a huge gray person, but this looks really cool when you use it on the eyes. And once again, kind of like Cultura, when you put it over a dark look, because I had put this over top of a look I did with the Waiting Room palette, and it was all just like dark red and black smoky shades. I didn't have to layer this up at all, just like one swipe really did it. It looked great. This one is a close second to Wallflower in terms of the colorful ones that I love, and this is Utterly Alone, which is, this is technically classified as a pigment paint because like there's certain shades that you shouldn't use on the eyes. This is just this beautiful deep purple shimmer, and y'all know that purple is my favorite color. Purple is just fantastic. So I love these so much. They're so easy to work with. They don't transfer. They like stay all day, but they're also not completely awful to get off. Like you don't have to like claw your eyes out in order to remove this when you're removing your makeup. They are super great. Now I'm really tired of talking, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments like what your favorite products of 2020 were. I would love to know. I'm sure we liked many similar things, and maybe you'll give me some inspiration for things that might end up in my 2021 favorites video. So thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you all in my next one. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye!